When I walk up in the club and sing, everybody want to know my name. Yeah, here comes the glass road. Yeah, here comes the glass road.
I'm back. I have to test this lens because I need to know that it actually works because it was a used lens. And the last time I made a video, there was a dot on me from the neutral density filter. Now I returned the filter. So I'm back. I figured if I'm back, I should talk about Bitcoin because in my in a very recent video, I talked about how bad for the environment Bitcoin is. It is, or they use the entire amount of electricity used in Argentina for Bitcoin, or the entire amount of electricity that's used in Argentina right now is how much is used for Bitcoin. So we could have so many people living on the planet right now off of what's done with Bitcoin. And I talked about how Bitcoin uses more electricity than Netflix and probably Disney and probably Hulu combined. I didn't actually say that, but I think it probably does. And so we all have to ask ourselves, what benefit are we getting from Bitcoin and what benefit are we getting from Netflix? Well, I love Netflix. It's my passion. I just watched Jennifer Garner in Yes Day or whatever, and I really enjoyed it. It's weird how I like the kids movie. I feel like it's like television or movies have gone downhill. Television's still good because there are all these series to watch, but the movie business has really just kind of started to suck. And so, are the VNOX Emmys coming? It depends on if I'm declared incompetent on Friday. Because if I get declared incompetent on Friday, you are never going to see me again. I will be gone. I'll be off the internet. So I have a feeling I'm going to be declared incompetent. I haven't done a second competency evaluation. I can't pick my own psychiatrist, so I'm waiting for my lawyer to set this up. And so, or my public defender. Who knows if they're actually my lawyer? It depends on if they actually act like my lawyer. My public defender might be my person that is they might be my guardian. That's what happens when the public defender decides that you're incompetent, is they become your guardian, so you don't even have legal rights. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is Bitcoin. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, why was I for a cryptocurrency that was a green cryptocurrency when I was running for president? Because if you remember, I had this plan that sort of created a welfare system so that we could give people what would be like food stamps, but it's actually a cryptocurrency, and it's a completely decentralized cryptocurrency, but it's a cryptocurrency that is only used for person-to-person transactions. And it would be illegal to do person-to-person transactions if you're selling new items. But you can do person-to-person transactions for used goods. You can do person-to-person transactions for services. The cryptocurrency would be used for food. It would be used for tampons. It'd be for essential items and for used goods. Because when I buy this lens, which is used, and the other lens that I was using before was used, and I bought 3 other lenses. I am a lens master now. I have so many lenses because I started my own business, and so I need different types of lenses for my job. And so I bought 5 lenses. Are any of them new? No. 0 of the lenses I bought are new. And why did I do that? Because I believe in buying used goods, because I know that if I buy a new item, it came from a factory that requires manufacturing, and it requires electricity. And so I'm trying to be an environmentalist, and so I buy used stuff. Do I buy new stuff? Of course I do. This microphone I'm using right now is new. I just bought a light that hasn't come in the mail yet. It's new. I just bought a light stand that came in the mail today. It's new. I buy new stuff, but I generally try to buy used stuff. So what I'm trying to say is, the cryptocurrency that I came up with, how was it different than Bitcoin? Because what is Bitcoin? Like I've said before, they're constantly testing to try to find a hash that meets their parameters or their requirements in order to create, and then it becomes the root hash of a block of that is chain, or a chain of blocks that are transactions. So each block is a transaction, and then there's another transaction, and then that it gets added to the chain. And I don't want to explain it because you guys won't understand it. I guarantee it. It took me a very long time to understand the science behind cryptocurrency. But when I talked about my cryptocurrency, how is it different? Like, how is it not bad for the environment? Number one is it doesn't involve mining, which it still involves electricity. It requires servers, but everything requires servers nowadays. But it doesn't require mining to find the hashes. How does that work? Well, there's a central server that has the algorithm, and the algorithm is a simple mining algorithm. So it's not you don't have decentralized mining. You have one place that's mining or multiple places that are mining that are kind of secret, and the mining algorithm's a secret. And in order to find hashes that meet the requirements for the cryptocurrency, you have to know the secret algorithm, and no one knows the secret algorithm. So a central bank could theoretically issue cryptocurrency, and the mining doesn't ever even happen, except they do mine it, but it's not really mining. It's like instant. Like they can issue money whenever they want. Whereas cryptocurrency, when they want to issue more money, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, when they want to issue more money, they have to change the algorithm publicly. They have to do what's called a fork. And that way they can add liquidity. And a fork is like a fork in the code. They change the code. And everyone knows it because anyone can mine cryptocurrency. I can mine it from my own computer. I have a gaming computer, so maybe I could find a Bitcoin in a very, very long time, but it would require my computer constantly chugging and using electricity and not doing the things that I do, which my computer is constantly doing heavily intensive calculations to render video and stuff like that. But okay, so my cryptocurrency doesn't have a mining algorithm, but it doesn't have you can't mine my cryptocurrency, but it's still decentralized. And so I wanted multiple ledgers in my cryptocurrency that are regional ledgers that relate back to a central ledger. But and so my cryptocurrency was more decentralized because when you do a transaction with Bitcoin, what happens? You have to resolve the transaction. So like all these computers are constantly trying to deal with the problem of what is it called, the double spend problem. There are a lot of problems with cryptocurrency that you have to that the computers deal with by having the ledgers stored in multiple locations and verifying against each other. Okay, but I realize that even my cryptocurrency I came up with requires electricity, but nothing's perfect. The whole idea of my cryptocurrency, though, is that you could even break off your own ledger. Like you could buy your own ledger because a ledger is worth this much money. This is how much is in a single ledger that's decentralized. And if you wanted to take it offline, you could take like a bunch of servers offline and store them in your house, and it wouldn't even exist. And then you could like turn the servers back on, and then they would verify to the central server, and then you could do transactions with your cryptocurrency. My cryptocurrency was very complicated, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't even do my cryptocurrency by myself. Actually, I know I couldn't ever, because my cryptocurrency hasn't been invented yet. But I also wanted to deal with the problem that cryptocurrency is super slow for transactions because it takes forever to resolve a transaction. So that's why no one uses Bitcoin for transactions in regular day life, or generally people don't use Bitcoin for transactions in everyday life. It's because it takes too long for a transaction to go through. So what I was going to do is have a buffer, like where there's a certain amount of money that it's like credit that you have available to you based on how much is in your account. So for quick transactions, you can use that credit and you can pay, and then eventually the blockchain will resolve, but it will take some time to do that. So it's kind of like it's like a I don't know what it is, but all I'm saying is when we think about what our society's like, where we have all these people that love Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a new thing. Everyone has to have Bitcoin, which I've described Bitcoin as offshore banking for the masses. We have to ask ourselves, are we bad for the planet? Like, is the way that we deal with is the way that we are all about making money for over something that's stupid? Like, I mean, Bitcoin, seriously, is it stupid? It kind of is, even though it is offshore banking for the masses, so it does make sense. But is it actually kind of stupid? It is. Like, why do we have to have Bitcoin? Like, why do my people use Bitcoin? For illegal transactions, because they sell drugs and stuff like that. And so, do I think that that's a good thing? Of course not. Like, I think that we should be able to do banking transactions with drugs and stuff like that legally, but there is no way. Can you stop Bitcoin? Of course not. I mean, the whole criminal world is dependent. It like uses these cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin isn't in the United States. Bitcoin is all over the world. Bitcoin is everywhere. Like, it's stored on servers everywhere, and that's why you can't destroy Bitcoin. Like, you'd have to destroy the entire internet to destroy Bitcoin, which you wouldn't, but you pretty much would. I mean, there are that many servers that have Bitcoin and there are backups, and so it's pretty hard to destroy Bitcoin. I don't like it. I don't like that we're using the entire country of Argentina's Argentina's a pretty decent sized country. I don't like that we're using that much electricity to do financial transactions to get around governments, because I mean, we have to, because the government doesn't want us to sell drugs. I mean, you have to understand, some of these people, their entire life is trying to control other people and trying to make sure that other people do what they want them to do. And they're obsessed with whether or not other people are doing drugs. And it's like, dude, why don't you mind your own business? I mean, really, because like the way that the drug business is, you make it worse. Why do you make it worse? It's because no one talks about it, because everything has to be so secret. Because when someone overdoses, they're afraid to go to the hospital. They're afraid people are afraid to take them to the hospital. When everyone is so tight-lipped about everything that it turns into such a huge deal. And if we could just be open and honest with one another, we could actually deal with some of the problems. But we can't be open and honest with each other because the cops want to make sure that their job still exists, and their job would exist, but their job would be boring if they couldn't bust people for drugs, because they'd have nothing to do. And it's like, well, why don't you guys focus on people that are actually criminals, like people that are violent, instead of filling our prisons with people that do drugs? It's like, well, it's because I don't think you feel like you have anything better to do, because you pretty much don't. Anyways, that's it. I'm out of here. Hopefully my video works. I will see you guys later.